If you want to know why your diesel truck is sitting at the dealership for 8 weeks, with a cryptic diagnostic code and a repair estimate that costs more than a used car, do not ask the service advisor in the polo shirt. Ask an independent diesel mechanic, the guy running a 2-bay shop out of a metal building on the edge of town. These men spend 60 hours a week shoulder deep in Cummins, Duramax, and Power Stroke engines. They see the melted DEF injectors. They see the cracked exhaust gas recirculation coolers. They see the proprietary software lockouts that prevent you from fixing your own $80,000 truck. And if you sit down with any veteran diesel mechanic and ask them what is actually killing the industry, you will hear the same story. The EPA emissions mandates that started in 2007 turned reliable mechanical workhorses into rolling emissions laboratories. The corporate dealership networks hoard the diagnostic software and choke the independent repair market. The engineering decisions sacrifice durability for compliance. The diesel mechanic is not retiring, he is being systematically regulated out of existence. Today we are opening the service bay door. I am going to walk you through the 5 catastrophic engineering changes that turned your truck into a liability, the specific systems bleeding your wallet dry, and why the diesel repair ecosystem is collapsing. Number 1 on the death list, the diesel exhaust fluid injection system. Walk onto any Ford, Ram, or Chevy diesel truck lot built after 2010, and the salesman will mention DEF. Diesel exhaust fluid, a liquid urea solution stored in a separate tank that sprays into your exhaust to chemically neutralize nitrogen oxide emissions. Sounds harmless. Fill the blue cap every few thousand miles and forget about it. To a diesel mechanic, this system is a ticking $8,000 time bomb. The primary engineering fraud is the placement of the DEF injector. This injector sits directly in your exhaust stream where temperatures regularly exceed 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit. It is a precision nozzle made of stainless steel designed to spray a fine mist of urea into superheated exhaust gas. The problem is urea crystallizes when your truck shuts off. Residual DEF sitting in that injector nozzle bakes solid under the residual exhaust heat. Those crystals clog the spray tip, the truck's computer detects the blockage, throws a check engine light, and immediately derates your engine to 5 miles per hour. You are stranded on the side of the highway. The injector itself costs $1,200, but you cannot just replace the injector. You also have to replace the entire DEF dozer module, the wiring harness, and in many cases the downstream sensors that monitor whether the system is functioning. Total repair bill at a dealership runs between $6,000 and $8,000. And because these are emissions critical components, they are back ordered for 6 to 10 weeks. Your $80,000 work truck sits dead while you wait for a part the size of a soda can to ship from an overseas supplier. Number 2, the exhaust gas recirculation cooler. If you ask a diesel mechanic what single component causes the most catastrophic engine failures in modern trucks, the answer is always the same, the EGR cooler. In order to meet 2007 EPA emission standards, manufacturers were required to recirculate a portion of the truck's hot exhaust gas back into the intake manifold to lower combustion temperatures and reduce nitrogen oxide formation. But exhaust gas is filthy. It is full of carbon soot, sulfur compounds, and acidic particulates. To cool this toxic stream before mixing it back into clean intake air, engineers installed a heat exchanger called an EGR cooler. It looks like a small radiator bolted to the side of your engine. Inside are dozens of thin metal tubes that allow coolant to flow around the hot exhaust gas, cooling it from 1,400 degrees down to 400 degrees. The engineering crime is a material mismatch. Those thin internal tubes are made from cheap stainless steel. Over time, the constant thermal cycling between extreme heat and engine coolant temperature causes microscopic stress fractures. The acidic exhaust gas eats through the cracks. One day a tube ruptures. When that tube cracks open, it creates a direct passage between your truck's cooling system and the exhaust stream. Pressurized exhaust gas blasts into your coolant. Your coolant boils, your engine overheats, and worse, the coolant gets sucked backward into the intake manifold, flooding your cylinders with antifreeze. The result is a phenomenon mechanics call a hydrolock. Liquid does not compress. When your pistons try to compress a cylinder full of coolant instead of air, the connecting rods bend or snap like breadsticks. You have just turned a $2,500 EGR cooler failure into a $15,000 complete engine rebuild. Diesel mechanics will tell you directly. If you own a 6.0 Power Stroke, a 6.4 Power Stroke, or a first generation LML Duramax, the EGR cooler is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. Number 3, the diesel particulate filter regeneration cycle. Modern diesel trucks are required by federal law to capture nearly 100% of the black soot particulates coming out of the exhaust pipe. To do this, manufacturers installed a component called a diesel particulate filter, or DPF, in the exhaust system. It is essentially a ceramic honeycomb filter that traps soot. Over time, the filter fills up with carbon. To prevent it from clogging completely, the truck's computer initiates something called a regeneration cycle. It injects extra fuel into the exhaust stream, ignites it, and burns the trapped soot out of the filter at temperatures exceeding 1,100 degrees. This is where the death spiral begins. If you use your truck for short trips, stop and go driving or idling, the DPF never gets hot enough to complete a full regeneration. The partially burned soot turns into a concrete-like ash that cannot be cleaned. The filter clogs, the truck enters limp mode, and here is the nightmare. A new DPF assembly costs between $3,000 and $5,000 installed, but federal law prohibits deleting or removing the DPF. It is a $10,000 fine per occurrence, so you are legally trapped into replacing a consumable emissions filter every 100,000 to 150,000 miles at a cost that exceeds the entire maintenance budget of an older pre-emissions truck. Diesel mechanics used to make a living on engine overhauls and drivetrain work. Now they spend half their time diagnosing DPF codes and explaining to truck owners why their 2-year-old truck needs a $4,000 exhaust system. Number 4, the proprietary diagnostic software stranglehold. 20 years ago, any mechanic with a $200 code reader could diagnose your truck. Today that is impossible. Ford, Ram, and GM have locked their diagnostic software behind proprietary systems independent shops cannot access. If your 2022 Ram throws a communication code, the dealership can plug in and see everything. Live sensor data, component activation, bidirectional tests, an independent shop is locked out. The only option is to tow your truck to the dealership, pay $200 for diagnostics, and wait in a queue running 4 to 6 weeks deep. This is a calculated corporate strategy to eliminate competition and funnel repair revenue back to factory networks. Independent diesel mechanics are being choked out, and when most rural communities do not have a dealership within 50 miles, trucks sit dead in fields for months waiting for a technician with the right laptop. Number 5, the emissions warranty trap. Buy a new diesel truck and you get a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. But the emissions system has a separate federal warranty, 5 years or 50,000 miles. Sounds great. Free repairs on the most expensive components. But if the dealership determines you used off-brand DEF, towed over capacity, or modified anything emissions related, they pay the entire warranty. The burden of proof is on you. Mechanics see this every week. A farmer brings in his 2-year-old truck with a failed DPF. The service advisor runs a scan, sees extended full load operation, and denies the claim. The farmer gets a $4,200 bill on a truck with 38,000 miles. No appeals, no arbitration. You pay or your truck stays dead. This has destroyed the resale value of used diesels. Nobody wants a 6-year-old truck with 80,000 miles when a single emissions failure costs more than the truck is worth. The used diesel market has collapsed. Mechanics who used to rebuild and flip older trucks have watched their business model evaporate. The diesel mechanic is not dying because young people do not want to work with their hands. He is dying because the regulatory and corporate framework has turned a skilled trade into navigating software licenses emissions compliance, and manufacturer monopolies. The modern diesel industry is built on adding legally mandated, failure-prone complexity to a simple combustion engine. If you want to beat the system, stop buying new diesel trucks unless you need them for commercial work that justifies the cost. If you already own one, find an independent mechanic with aftermarket diagnostic tools and learn your engine's specific failure points. And if you are shopping, consider this: a 2005 Cummins 5.9 with 200,000 miles will outlast a 2023. Cummins 6.7 with 50,000 miles. You trade emissions compliance for mechanical permanence and keep your money out of dealership networks that engineered these machines to fail when the warranty expires. If you made it this far, hit subscribe. I cover the engineering frauds hiding inside the products you buy every week.